Welcome to the Explainer. For most of history, we've looked at the moon as a place for human explorers, for heroes. But today, we're going to look at a totally different vision. The moon as a giant factory, powered by an all-robot workforce. And it could be the thing that kickstarts a brand new economy in space. All right, so let's get into it. For decades, the goal was pretty simple. Get there, plant a flag, come home. But the next giant leap isn't just about exploring anymore. It's about building something permanent. A real economic presence beyond Earth. And this image right here gives you a fantastic idea of what that future could look like. Major aerospace companies like United Launch Alliance are planning for what they call a cislunar economy. And as you can see, it's not just about flying from point A to point B. Think of it more like an industrial supply chain in space, a kind of cosmic railroad with fuel depots, repair stations, and transport hubs connecting everything up. But there's a huge problem holding all of this back, and it's something we're all very familiar with: gravity. Every single bolt, every solar panel, every drop of water you need to build this has to be blasted out of Earth's deep gravity well, and that is just ridiculously expensive. And this comparison really shows you just how big of a deal that is. To escape Earth gravity, you need a change in velocity, what scientists call delta V, of 11.2 kilometers per second. To do the same from the moon, it's just 2.4. That massive energy difference is the single biggest barrier to building a true space economy. So, here's the game-changing idea. Instead of dragging everything up from Earth, what if we just get it from the moon? We know there are huge deposits of water ice there, which is perfect for life support and, get this, rocket fuel. The moon is also rich in iron, titanium, and silicon. Its weak gravity makes it the perfect cosmic gas station and hardware store for the entire solar system. Okay, so mining the moon is a brilliant idea, but how in the world would you actually do it? The environment is incredibly hostile, and let's be honest, the work would be dull, dangerous, and dirty. It doesn't exactly sound like a great job for a human, does it? Well, a really detailed study from the University of Arizona came up with a bold solution. They asked, what if you take humans almost completely out of the equation? They designed this incredible, comprehensive blueprint for a massive 2-square-kilometer lunar mining base. It's got everything: refineries, power generators, launch facilities, and it's all run not by people, but by autonomous robots. And when they actually ran the numbers, the difference was just staggering. A base built for humans is insanely complex. You need food, air, pressurized habitats, huge safety systems. The list goes on. But a robotic base, it's lean, it's efficient, and it's built for one thing and one thing only: industrial production. Just how much more efficient are we talking? Well, their models show that an all-robot base can be built 15 times faster, and it uses 15 times less energy than one that has to support human life. This isn't just a small improvement. This is the kind of leap that makes the whole thing economically possible. So where does all that energy even go? When you look at the power breakdown for an operational base, this chart tells a really fascinating story. A whopping 78%, almost all of it, is dedicated to just one thing: refining metals like steel and titanium. Only a tiny fraction is actually for the robots themselves. And that's the key takeaway here. This lunar base isn't some outpost for scientists and lab coats. Nope, it's a heavy-duty factory. And the work, mining, hauling rock, is exactly the kind of repetitive, hazardous labor that is just perfectly suited for an automated workforce. Now, I know this might all sound like a pretty distant sci-fi dream, but the amazing thing is, private companies are already building the technology to make this a reality, and they're doing it right now. So let's take a look at one of the key players here, a company called Lunar Outpost. They were founded back in 2017, and they're right on the front lines, developing the actual robotic hardware and software needed for this new cislunar economy. These guys are basically creating the entire robotic toolkit. Their map rovers are designed for prospecting. They were part of the MOXIE experiment, which, and this is so cool, successfully created breathable oxygen on Mars. And their Mars software is designed to control whole swarms of robots working together. They are literally building the new workforce. But to build a whole economy, you need infrastructure, and you need partners. So Lunar Outpost is teaming up with some of the biggest names on Earth to build the systems that will be needed on the moon. I mean, if you've got a whole robot workforce, they need to be able to communicate, right? So Lunar Outpost is partnering with, get this, Nokia, to deploy the very first 4G cellular network on the moon. And this isn't some gimmick, it's a critical piece of infrastructure for command, control, and all that data. They're also working with General Motors on the next generation of lunar rovers for NASA's Artemis program. The really cool part here is that they're leveraging GM's advanced electric vehicle and battery technology, showing how tech developed here on Earth is being adapted for the super harsh lunar environment. So what does this all add up to? We have the scientific blueprint for a robotic factory on the moon, and we have private companies right now actively building the robots and the infrastructure to make it happen. What's the big picture here? It all comes back to this one quote from that University of Arizona study. They found that automation isn't just one option among many. It's the key. It's the thing that makes this entire vision of a lunar industrial base even possible in the first place. And this really captures the historic shift that we're living through right now. For the first time, we're moving beyond simply visiting other worlds to actively using off-world resources. We're shifting from an era of space exploration to an era of space utilization and building a real, self-sustaining economy beyond Earth. And that leaves us with one final, pretty exciting thought. The moon is essentially open for business. It's becoming the next great economic frontier. The resources are there, the technology is being built as we speak, and a whole new industrial revolution is on the horizon. The only question is, who's going to be the first to clock in?